Hello, welcome back to the Draw Fair to Green podcast. This past week in the golf world, we had two events, one on the PGA Tour, one on the GP World Tour. We're going to first go over the PGA Tour event, the Sony Open down in Hawaii. This is the first event of the PGA Tour season due to Hawaii drought and some water shortage in Hawaii, so they did not have the tournament champion. So instead, they went over to the Sony Open, and that was the first event of the year. Chris Gotterup picked up his third career PGA Tour win, and it looks like we may have a budding superstar, or at least star, growing on the PGA Tour. He's won 3 years in a row. Only Rory, McIlory, and Scotty Scheffler have longer streaks than that. Now, his first one was the Myrtle Beach Classic, so an opposite field event. Okay. Again, as a first PGA Tour win, a rookie year, great. Gets you exempt for a year and a half. Good. Last year, he goes to the Scottish Open, stares down Rory McIlroy in Scotland, beats him, plays well at the Open Championship, was kind of a fringe Ryder Cup player possibility, hits the ball really far, is a former Haskins Award winner in college. He played 4 years at Rutgers, then transferred to over Oklahoma for a year, and now he has 3 career wins. He absolutely tore this back nine apart. The Sony course is not a long course. The Walale Country Club, not a long course. So for someone with his power, he was cutting dog legs off, both right and left on the back nine. Made a couple crucial putts, and stormed back for the win. Again, his previous 2 wins, he was the co-leader or leader after 54 holes, so he's never come back and won. This time he came back and won. Got a feel for Davis Riley, who was the 54-hole leader. He got his lead up to 3 strokes, was putting great. I think he was like plus 11 strokes game putting, was boat racing the field in that category, was the best putter for the first 3 days, just making things everywhere from 10 to 20 feet. Just giant hole for Davis Riley. And then all of a sudden, it was on the 6th and 7th hole, he 3 putts back-to-back holes. The 8th hole, after 2 poor bogeys, hits his tee shot out of bounds. All of a sudden, he plays those 3 holes in +4. His lead goes from +3 to now he's down by 4. He never regained control, really, never got it close. He finished T6, which is a good finish for him. Again, so the fact that he was in contention at all was kind of crazy. He was really poor towards the end of last year. Many of you probably don't remember, but he was one of those people who finished second to Scotty in the PGA Championship. I think Harris English was the other one. After that T2 finish, though, at the PGA, he played 14 more times last season, and he only made 6 cuts. He missed 8 cuts, so didn't have a great finish to the year, wasn't really playing well, so the fact that he was in the lead and looked like it was his tournament, stepping on the 6th tee of the final round, I mean, again, 3-shot lead, and he just 3 bad holes, and that cost him a tournament, and that's the difference between his 3rd career win and Chris Gotterup getting his 3rd career win. For Gotterup, he's the first player since Tom Kim to earn his first 3 PGA Tour wins in less than 70 starts. So again, it's a President's Cup year, and again, with the Ryder Cup last year, and he was kind of a possibility. I think this year he's definitely on the radar of Team USA. I think, again, I've pounded the drum here on this podcast that they got to get younger. I think they got to get some of the young blood like the Team Europe did with Ludwig a couple years ago and with the Hogards. These past 2 Ryder Cups, I think getting the young players, and the USA has an advantage. They have a President's Cup that these rookies and young guys can go learn in that, feel it out, feel what team competition is, what playing for Team USA is, all the responsibilities. Yes, they're not the same as the Ryder Cup, but it's still close. It's the most close thing you're going to get. So I wouldn't be shocked. I think right now he would be on my President's Cup team. I think he's so good with the driver, and especially in a match play event, if he can set up a good iron, good wedge player with less yardage in compared to what they're normally playing with, I mean, I think it would be a great advantage. I mean, he's very similar to Cam Young. Now, Cam Young's a better putter than him at this point, but distance-wise, they're very similar. Kind of same build, too. Hit the ball a mile. Again, Chris Gotterup, 3rd career win, great for him. Ryan Gerard is someone else who I want to talk about. He finished second to Gotterup. He finished 2 strokes back. His last 2 starts, he has finished in second place. So For those who don't know, if you are in the top 50 in the world golf ranking at the end of the year, you get an invite to the Masters. So coming into last December of 2025, Ryan Gerard was sitting, I think it was at 52 or 53. And obviously the PGA Tour doesn't have any more events in December. He went all the way to Meredith to play on the DP World Tour. Needed, I think it was a T4 finish or better to get into the top 50 and qualify for the Masters. All he did was get into a playoff, and he did lose to Jane Shaper, but he earned his Masters invite via that way. So he flew all the way over there, got it, and now, again, maybe it's a confidence builder that he's in the Masters because he played really well here, finished, again, tie second. He picked up a win last year at the Barracuda. A good player, again, finished second. Wouldn't be shocked if he competed. I don't know if he'll compete for a President's Cup spot, but he could be one of those kind of like Ben Griffin out of nowhere players who maybe wins a tournament or two this year. Caroline Tar Heel. So again, that connection with Ben Griffin, we'll see. But again, another good finish for Ryan Gerard. Patrick Rogers, still looking for his first career win. It was his 313th start and his 31st top 10 finish, the most any player without a win. Again, he had a really good year last year. Good start to the year this year. I think this puts him up there in the Aon top 5 to get into some of those signature events. A really good player. Again, another former Haskins Award winner. Just hasn't broke through on the PGA Tour with the win yet. But again, he's made a good career. He's made a good living, and it's going to come eventually. He's played well. He played well down in the couple of fall events. Played well here. But again, hopefully that win is on the way for him because he's just a good guy, good golfer, and hopefully he gets that monkey off his back soon. As far as that, Vijay Singh. Again, people weren't happy with it. He's playing on the money exemption. He did make the cut, first player to make a cut on a PGA Tour event since or the oldest player to make a cut on a PGA Tour event since Fred Couples at the 2023 Masters. I think he finished like T40th. So again, not the best finish, but again, what do you expect? He's 62, 63 years old. It's a long golf course. It's not the easiest walk. Again, it'll be interesting to see how his season plays out, just watching some of it. He didn't look great walking. Again, older, so we'll see what courses he plays, what events he plays in. I'm very interested to see what other events he commits to this upcoming year. Over on the DP World Tour, we had the 2026 Dubai Invitational. Again, this was a Pro-Am event similar to what the American Express is coming up for the PGA Tour is. So the amateurs play with the pros the first 3 rounds. The last round, the pros play alone. Nacho Elvira came out on top. He kind of he had the lead going into the day, gave it back, and then a lot of people around him kind of faltered. Shane Lowry on the 18th hit a bunker shot into the water, so he double bogeyed that. So he ended up finishing with his 3rd career DP World Tour win. He made a birdie on the 17th hole to get to 10 under. He defeated Daniel Hillier by 1 stroke. Again, good event. Rory McIlory finished 3rd in that. My pick, David Puig, I think he finished T4. Over on the PGA Tour, my pick last week was Harry Hall. He was in the final group with Davis Riley, and he just never really got it going at all. So 2 good picks by me this week. Usually I'm picking people who miss the cut or don't finish. So again, Nacho Elvira picks up his 3rd career DP Tour win over there at the Dubai Invitational. This week on the PGA Tour, we have the American Express, and that is the Pro-Am event. So again, for those who don't know, it's played on 3 courses. So it's the PGA West Pete Dye Stadium course, PGA West Nicholas Tournament course, and La Quinta Country Club, all at par 72. Each player gets to play each course after the 3 rounds. So after Saturday, that's when the cut is. So it's not a 36-hole cut, 54-hole cut. The amateurs play with the pros the first 3 days. Sunday, just the pros. And on Sunday, they all play the Pete Dye Stadium course. Last year's winner, Sepp Straka, he's in the field looking to defend. Scotty Scheffler, world number 1. He's playing again. It's a pretty good field. I think I read that it is going to be the highest strength field of any field last year outside of majors. So even signature events, this field is stronger. Um, you have a lot of players, good players. You have Adam Scott, Will Zalatoris is coming back from injury. Ben Griffin's in the field again. Luke Clanton's in the field. It's going to be a great tournament. Those three courses are fun. It's going to be a tournament where they go low. So if you're making lots of birdies, that's going to be great. If you're not, if you're kind of stuck in neutral, making pars, not really making birdies, not really making bogeys, you probably won't see the weekend. Again, we usually see some pretty high scores here. Again, Sepp Straka is the defending champ a couple of years ago. This is where Nick Dunlap won as an amateur. He was the first amateur win since like 1991, I think it was. So again, it's usually a good tournament. The courses are nice. It's very similar to the stadium course over at TPC Sawgrass that Pete Dye built. There is kind of like an island green, except this one's a little more treacherous, I think. It has rocks all over the whole island. So if you hit it anywhere, it's bouncing off those rocks. I think they call it Alcatraz. So it's a fun hole. Again, fun golf course. My pick for the week is Sam Burns. I think when you're going to have to make a ton of birdies, you're going to be putting well, and Sam Burns was the best putter on the PGA Tour last year. He's played well here before. He has 2 top 6 finishes among 4 top 20 finishes in when he's played here. So again, he hasn't played since the Ryder Cup. Wasn't the best showing for him there. His putter kind of failed him in the Ryder Cup. I thought he'd make more putts. He never really got it going with a putter there, but I think he's my pick this week. I think just with it being so soft and the course being gettable, I think it kind of neutralizes someone like Scottie Scheffler's game, who, yes, he's the best iron player, so he's going to probably stick it close. But I think because it's such a soft golf course, I think that people are going to be able to get more birdies. And so I think his superpower of ball striking kind of gets negated a little here. Again, would it be shocking if he won? No. He's finished T11 here. He's finished T17. So he's really never played all too well. I don't think he has a top 10 finish here. He's missed the cut here 2 previous years in 2020, 2021. So again, not the most favorite Scottie Scheffler course, or course is. Again, it's tough playing 3 courses, but every player does play 3. Again, cut after the 54 hole. Over on the DP World Tour, we have the Hero Dubai Desert Classic. Here is the runner-up is Tyrrell Hatton. He won it last year. Rory McIlory also in the field. He has won this event 4 times. He won it in 23, 24, and then 2 other times. He's looking to become a 5-time winner of this event. He just finished T3rd last week, so he's my pick for this week over in Dubai. This is the first event in the Rolex series. So the DP World Tour does a similar thing to what the PGA Tour does with signature events. They call them the Rolex series. They have 5 events that are elevated purse, elevated race to Dubai points. It's just called the Rolex series, and this is the first one of those. Again, in the field, you have Tyrrell Hatton, the defending champ. You have Tommy Fleetwood. You have Shane Lowry. You have Rory McIlroy. Padraig Harrington, Francesco Molinari, Patrick Reed, Danny Willett, Dustin Johnson. So we have a lot of former major winners in this field. Again, we're going to get a lot of current live golfers in the field as they can play the DP World Tour events. So that's no shock where you see Patrick Reed and Dustin Johnson in, who Dustin Johnson did just sign a 3-year contract extension with Liv through 2029. So he's kind of tied up there. So any path for DJ to come back doesn't seem likely, at least in the near future here. Again, over in Dubai, the last 2 tournaments for the DP World Tour are over in Dubai. This is one of the oldest golf courses in the Middle East. I think the oldest golf course in Dubai. The views are so cool. You see the skyline. Again, it's going to be tough to watch it. I think you have to stay up. I think the Golf Channel coverage is from 2:30 to 7:30 a.m. Thursday, Friday. So if you're up that early or up that late, go check it out. Always a good viewing of the Dubai skyline and a pretty good field with a lot of former major champions. So again, expect that to be a good tournament. I do think Rory McIlroy will win his 5th. I think he's just played so well. Again, winning there 4 times, yes, is great. He's finished T3rd last week. He's played well down the stretch in the fall DP Tour events. He played well at the Ryder Cup. So him winning his 5th time over at the Hero Dubai Desert Classic would not shock me at all. The LPGA does not have any events. Again, they don't play again till the end of January. But they did have some news coming out here the last couple of days. The first piece of news I want to talk about is the WTGL. Again, the Women's Team Golf League. So what the PGA Tour is doing over at the TGL, the LPGA signed a deal, and they are going to be doing it and calling it the WTGL. It's going to start next winter, or winter of 26, 27. So again, probably around this time next year, maybe a little before the year breaks at the end of 2026. But they do have 5 committed players. World number 1, Gino Titicun, is committed. Charlie Hall, who's the world number 5. Lydia Ko, world number 6. Brooke Henderson, world number 25. And Lexi Thompson, world number 79. Again, I'm kind of shocked at some of these names, that some of these big names are doing it. I wasn't sure if Gino Titicun would do it. Again, over the TGL, you don't see Scotty Scheffler there. But you do have other names. You have Rory, you have Justin Thomas and Xander Schauffele. So you have some of the big names there. I'm kind of shocked Gino is committed early on, but I think it's great that you have the world number 1 committed already. So that's cool. Lydia Ko, obviously LPGA Hall of Famer, major champion, 3-time Olympic medalist. Brooke Henderson, 3-time Olympian, winningest golfer from Canada, 2 major championships. Lexi Thompson, 2-time Olympian, again, 1 major championship. And I'm really excited. I said this with Brian a week or 2 ago when this came out. I said I needed Charlie Hall, and sure enough, she's committed. Again, 3 LPGA Tour victories, has been on 7 Solheim Cup teams. I'm more looking for her to just be kind of the Kevin Kisner, Billy Horschel of the PGA Tour, where they're just really animated, and just having them mic'd up all the time, I think is going to be great. I think she's one of the best characters on the LPGA Tour, probably the best. I think she's just so interesting, running marathons before tournaments. Obviously, all the viral things with her Instagram and smoking on the course, all that. But I think she will shine in an environment like this. I think some of these other ladies will also shine, but I think Charlie Hall just will thrive in this type of competition. Again, and I think she's competitive, so I think she's going to want to win. I think they're going to talk some smack. Hearing them go through and listen to walking through shots, just watching the TGL matchup this tonight, I think it was Jupiter Links and the LA Golf Club. They had a really good bit on, I think it was Justin Rose and Colin Morikawa, talking about where they needed to hit it on this hole to give Justin Rose the best shot in. And they were just have a quick 1-minute conversation. They called a timeout to talk about it, like, oh, if you ain't here, I have this far in. So I think that would be really cool to hear the women's perspective of what shot do they need to hit, where should they hit it, where do you want to be left in the golf course, do you want more yardage in, do you want less yardage in? I think that would be really cool to hear, because again, you don't really hear that on LPGA Tour coverage. I think hopefully this year, with the expanded coverage and more mics and more cameras, I think you'll hear more caddy player conversations like we do here on the PGA Tour. So I think that's really cool. I'm excited for that. But again, WTL, I think this is a great 5 commitments. I think getting those Gino, Charlie, Lydia, and Brooke and Lexi, I think getting those to get other women to commit as well. And just for a fan base, the fans know these names. So to get 5 noticeable names, I think is great job so far. So I'm excited to see who else commits here in the coming months and how these teams play out. Because again, there's really no rhyme or reason to the TGL leagues. I think they just kind of, maybe some California ties are in the LA team, the Boston team, Keegan Bradley's on, but then you have Rory on. So how does that really make sense? So I'm interested to see how these teams are made and how many teams there are. Again, TGL has 6. Are the WTGL going to have 6? They're going to have 4. All things that I think we'll get answers here soon. But again, great news for the WTGL with those 5 players. The last piece of information I want to talk about on the LPGA Tour is Chad Coleman was named the LPGA Chief Marketing Officer. For those who don't know him, know him. I didn't really know him much. I was reading some things. He previously worked with Dude Perfect. So if you don't know what Dude Perfect is, it's a YouTube channel where they do all types of different sport trick shots. They've done things with golf. They've done things with basketball, soccer, all cool stuff. Very popular in the younger ages. YouTube, again, very popular. So again, I think getting someone who knows how to market that, I think will be great for the marketing on the LPGA Tour. Before being at Dude Perfect, he was with Callaway. So again, I think a pretty good hire. I think him being able to market Dude Perfect to an audience with millions and millions of subscribers on YouTube. I think if he can bring some of that, what he brings in from Dude Perfect to the LPGA, marketing these stars, especially now, like we've talked about so many times with the expanded TV coverage and more stories, I think that's great. I think that's going to be a fantastic hire. Again, they're doing a pretty good job with different hirings. Again, any way to market the LPGA Tour and the women on this tour, that will greatly benefit, I think, just the product as a whole. Again, I think there's so many stars that they can market, especially not just in the U.S., but in other countries as well. Again, such an international tour, with so many of the young players not being from the U.S., I think that's great. So if you can expand your marketing reach to China, Japan, Thailand, Germany, Britain, just Europe in general, I think you're going to see a lot more interest in the women's golf game. I think those ratings and viewings of the golf tournaments will go up. Again, so that's it for all the news and kind of the events this coming week and next week. The PGA Tour has an American Express. DP World Tour has a Desert Hero Classic. Again, please look out for more articles and interviews on our website, Fair to Green. I'm down in Orlando, just arrived tonight. Pretty much the next couple days, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to be at the PGA Golf Show over in Orlando. So we have some interviews lined up. I have some interviews lined up. I know our CEO and founder, Kelly, has some interviews lined up, and that's going to go all on our Instagram. You're going to see stuff on our Instagram videos of interviews and products, and you're also going to see some stuff on our website. So again, check those out. I have 2 out already. I was able to interview 2 different gentlemen who run and operate their own golf putting company. So one is specifically putters, the other one is Scott Golf, and that deals with irons and wedges. So go check those interviews out. They're online. Again, read our previews and recaps. All that are my previews for the upcoming events, the American Express and the DP World Tour event, will be out tomorrow morning or Thursday morning. So go check those out. And then our recaps from this previous week are up there as well. Again, as the LPGA Tour starts, we'll get those recaps and previews from Brian as those events start here in the next couple weeks. Again, thank you for listening. Go check us out. Subscribe on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to, and be on the lookout for some of those interviews on our website, Fair to Green. Enjoy the golf this week. See you next week.